I went on a date last night, and every time I go on a date, it just makes me more and more like grateful for the choices that I made in my life up to this point.
What kind of choices, you might ask? You may think that you know, but this is no ordinary woman. She comes from a completely different culture. Watch this video and listen to her speak Womanese. It's a very distinct language. Unfortunately, very few men can understand it, so I'm going to act as translator.
I just started like seriously dating again after, I mean, like in January, I took like a long hiatus. I didn't really date anyone seriously last year.
Now, you might think that a woman of her age can't afford to take time off dating because she's approaching infertility. But in Womanese culture, biology has been ruled to be a sexist invention of the patriarchy. They passed a law granting all women infinite time to reproduce, so she's not worried.
And this guy was tall, he has a good job, he's attractive, he owns property, he seemed like he had everything going for him.
Tall, attractive, good job, owns property. He has everything going for him. In our language, that phrase might mean that he's kind, he has good values, good personality. But in Womanese culture, the only qualities that men are rated by have to do with looks and wealth. Men don't exist outside of those categories.
But we were talking and I was just like, we are just like not compatible. Because I was talking to him and he's basically like, well, what's your priority right now in your life? And I'm like, I'm my priority. Like, what do you mean? What else would my priority be? Like my job and like growing and myself, like I'm my priority.
See, the man actually made a big misstep here because that question that he asked her was very culturally insensitive. Asking her about her priorities shows how uneducated he is about Womanese culture. He should have done his homework because the only priority for Womanese women is themselves. In Womanese culture, there is no other possible answer to that question, and that's why she's so surprised. Of course, she is her only priority, and he really should have known that. Big red flag.
And he was telling me how like all of his friends have kids and he's like one of the only single people. And I was like, how old are you? And he's like 33. I was like, that's crazy because every single one of my, like I hardly know anyone married.
He's 33 and his friends are married with children. That seems normal and age appropriate to us, but then why does she seem so surprised? It's because in Womanese culture, women mature very, very slowly. They're not rushed like women are in different cultures. To us, the idea of using your 20s to travel, to grow, to learn about yourself, and then in your 30s, think about partnering up, starting a family, having children, that seems normal. But in Womanese culture, women are so unique and special that 1 decade is not possibly enough time for her to truly get to know herself. She needs her 30s, her 40s, and even beyond to still be dedicated to self-exploration. That's how special she is. She needs that time.
I would say like way more of my friends are single, maybe in like relationships, casual relationships, like.
Sorry, quick translation. In Womanese, the term relationship refers to late night hookups with a man who does not respect her, would not commit to her, but is allowed to have sex with her.
I know very few married people, but even that, like no one has kids. No one I went to college with has kids. The only people I know that have kids are people from my hometown. And he was like, well, yeah, like my friends that have kids are like my hometown friends, like the friends I grew up with. And I was like, well, that kind of, checks out. I was like, I associate with very few people from my hometown just because like that's not a life I want to live. I would never trade lives with those people.
See, this is another cultural difference because to us, we view our hometown with fondness, a place with friends and family, a sense of home, your place of origin. But upon migrating and obtaining Womanese citizenship, every woman is required to despise her childhood, the place it occurred, the people, the memories. She needs to sever all ties with family and community. That's what being a Womanese woman is all about. It's empowering. And it's very important to look down upon anybody who has not performed this ritual. If you still maintain decades-old friendships from your childhood, that is a sign of very weak character.
And I literally said to him at the end of the date, I was like, I had a good time with you, but I really don't think we're going to be compatible. Like, getting married and having kids is not anything that I'm interested, honestly, anytime soon.
Yeah, of course she's not interested in marriage or children, and that is very culturally insensitive for him to assume that she would be. In the Womanese culture, that is not the purpose of dating.
Frankly, like most of those people do not seem all that happy. Like I would say my single friends are some of the happiest people I've ever met, and especially the ones with kids. I mean, I don't want that.
Now, at first glance, her attitude appears to make no sense because the data consistently shows that single people are not happier. The happiness is enhanced by being in a relationship. But what you might not be aware of is that over 20 years ago, a law was passed in Womanese that ruled that all of science was the patriarchy. Data was toxic masculinity, and any statistics that contradict how a woman feels is automatically sexist and therefore invalid. This video continues, but first I want to give a quick explanation for why I'm so good at translating Womanese. It's because I was actually born in that culture. I know the customs, the language. I've met many women like this, but I couldn't take it, so I immigrated to your world. I wanted to find a different type of woman and have a relationship that was actually fun. I wanted a relationship that was supportive and healthy with a focus on children. If you want to hear my story about my relationship with Emily, we've been together 16 years, how my relationship makes me happy, how it works. This month I've released an hour-long special video. It highlights all of the uplifting parts about being in a relationship with a good woman. I think it's an important contrast to all of this womanese. You can watch that video right now by signing up to my Patreon. Okay, let's return to the translation.
Last night just really reinforced a lot of things for me because hearing him say that like his idea of a fun night is staying at home, watching a movie, playing cards, and like hanging out with his 2 dogs. And I was just like, I have no interest in doing that. I'm so sorry, but like, I do not want to go to your suburban house to sit around and play cards and hang out with your dogs. I want to be in the city, hang out with my friends. I'm like, yeah, one of my friends just opened a new bar in New York. Like, I'm going to go see him in a couple weeks. Like, this event and this event and this event. And I'm not staying home to play cards with you and your dogs.
Yeah, there's a fascinating cultural difference here because from our perspective, if somebody is content with the little things in life, that shows that they're actually quite a big person. They're easy to make happy, they're humble, they're confident in themselves that they are enough. But in Womanese culture, modesty is a sign of moral failure. If you are content with small things, that makes you a very small person. What's really impressive is somebody who needs constant travel, parties, and distraction to be happy. They need lots and lots of stimulation, and that's how you know that they're a quality person.
More and more every day, I just come down to the fact that I am so content with just being a fun aunt who like travels and goes to cool events all across different big cities and the world, and continuing to grow my career and hopefully be really big in the field of my choice one day.
A quick translation. When she said fun aunt, in Womanese, that phrase does not mean good-natured, generous. It means living away from your family and being motivated only by selfishness, having no responsibilities. That's what makes you a fun aunt.
And I'm so okay with that. I do not want to live a small life.
Again, by small life, she means family, children, commitment, companionship. That's a small life. A big life, by contrast, is travel and parties. They make your life big because unlike marriage and children, they have substance, meaning, and depth.
I physically cringed when that man said that. And that was like, okay, yep, I don't want, yep, that's what I want. And that's okay.
Yeah, it is. In Womanese, everything is okay. As a language, Womanese does not have a word that translates to female mistake. Woman's failure is literally not in their vocabulary. It doesn't exist. In Womanese, the closest translation to our phrase, this woman has made a mistake, is it might look like this woman has made a mistake, but deep down, it's a man's fault because reasons. I know it can be tough. This is a difficult language to learn, but hopefully this video helped and you can begin to understand some of the subtleties of the language and how it's different to English. If you're interested in seeing my other Womanese translation videos, there are links in the description box. And if you want to keep watching this video, I'm actually going to explain how women's values changed over the decades so much that what they say now literally could be interpreted as a completely different language. I'm going to explain how that occurred. The full-length version of this video is available on Patreon. Sign up there if you want to keep watching and gain access to this month's special video. It's a contrast to some of the cynicism that you typically see on this channel and an exploration of what makes relationships healthy using my own relationship as a guide. If you'd like to see more balance in your understanding of male-female dynamics, then I recommend coming over and watching this video.